bring it all to fruition, let's bring out on stage the founders, the creators behind this amazing new imprint. Make some noise, show some love. First and foremost, Mr. Jason Fabog, Garrett King, Ryan Harris, Now, you've heard of a murderer's row. This is like double that. Guys, how are we doing today? Are we doing all right? Thank y'all for joining us. Everybody good?
You good today?
We're finding chairs okay? We had to import new chairs from a whole nother convention just to get y'all up here. This is insane, absolutely insane. We are super excited to talk about Ghost Machine. But first and foremost, just so that there is no question about who you all are, if you don't mind, just a quick, what's your name and what is your position in the Ghost Machine, please? We'll start with you, Jason, because you're ready.
Jason Fowler, I'm an artist working on Rook Exodus.
I'm Terry Frank, and I'm working on Dragon.
I'm Brian Hitch, and first out the gate is Red Coat. I'm Jeff Johns, and I'm working on Ghost 3 books.
I'm Lamar McGee. You'll just have to wait and find out.
I'm Francis Maniple. I just follow them around. So, I'm also working on a book called Rockefellers.
My name is Brad Meltzer. I'm working on First Ghost.
My name is Maytal Sludes, and I'm working on a book in the horror universe.
Peter Tomasi, working on the Rockefellers with the great Francis Maniple and some other cool stuff on the way.
I'm Rob Lee, and I letter roll the books.
And you say poor bastard.
I'm Brad Anderson. I do all the color, so.
Now, I think it's clear for everyone to understand that the future is Ghost Machine. But my question is, what is Ghost Machine to each of you in just one word? What is it to all of you? One word, that's right. It's your baby.
Freedom.
Freedom!
I'll give you
That's why I jumped up and said
fun.
Fun, I like it.
Characters, and great characters.
That's 2 words.
I'll do great. You can do character.
Character.
Passion.
Collaboration.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, God, I should have gone earlier.
Yeah.
No repeats.
Never feet. It's just like a Radio 4 show. It's just
One word.
opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Opportunity, that's solid, that's solid.
Family.
Oh, see, that should have.
That's why, right? This is why this is such a great family collaboration right here. You're like, oh, that was mine. It's mine.
It's
I
all
told you what
about-
you were gonna say. Oh, Brett?
I was going to say love.
Hey, that's a big one. That's a big one.
The future.
Okay, okay.
I was gonna say collaboration too, because it's. Sure you were.
Collaborate.
I just got that.
Not saying that it's colorful. It's colorful. That's what it is. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Visuals too.
I love it. I love it. Maytal, did you get to say yours?
Yeah, I said passion.
Speaking of passion, collectively your impact on corporately owned comics is indelible. But you've all made this exclusive shift to creator-owned. Why is that so important as creatives? Don't be shy. Come on, anybody jump in now.
I mean, obviously, I've written probably like 35,000 corporate comic books, and I love it. I love writing those characters. I love doing it. It's a passion I've had forever. But as we just grow and evolve and start to see, and the business changes too, we have to change with it, and creatively change with it. And And I think when Gary and I first started a book at Image, it was kind of new and scary, but it ended up being really, really fun and really rewarding and freeing. And Jason and I were talking, Brian and I were talking, and then we all started just talking about it, and it developed into like, we should because we can. Like, there's no one, Brian and I were talking one day, I'm like, no one can say, Jeff, don't write something, or Brian, don't draw something. We can just create it. And so that freedom, the collaboration, the fun, just the benefits are so great. It's just time, at this point, for us to be all in.
Absolutely.
But actually, just to echo what Jeff said too, you're talking about why is ownership. I mean, imagine DC and Marvel, all those characters, all those comics, all those movies, all those TV shows, all the licensing, all of that. Imagine if the people who created those characters owned those companies.
Make that noise, make that noise. As far as you know, we heard of the creators of our favorite characters dying penniless because they weren't able to maximize and profit off of what they created. You guys are changing that game for everybody, and I think that's super important. And I love you personally for that.
We really hope we inspire other creators to come together and do this, like that, because they can do this. Like,
Yes.
if you come together as a creative group, you have the power, the talent, and the fortitude to do it. You can. There's nothing stopping anyone.
I love it, absolutely.
The thing is too, is that Marvel and DC, they've built something that lasts, and we help them keep it going. And it's just our turn to build something that lasts for us, right? And I think it's a business model that other people can look upon, as Jeff said, to build their own pillars of the comic book industry, right? Because right now there's two, and we're looking to build up that third.
Absolutely. You said what Ghost Machine is to you, which speaks to your motivation. What do you hope Ghost Machine means for readers and retailers in this business?
The best books on the stands, that's all we talk about, is we want to make the best characters, the best books, the most beautiful artwork. Clearly it's going to be like that anyway. It's up to us to bring the stories, which we all work together on, but we just want to make great comic books. That's the goal.
I love that. Anybody else in the back end?
No, we just obviously just echoing what Jeff just said, and also making sure that you create great books and you put them out there, and you help the retailers, and you allow those guys who are out there on the front lines to keep going and to be profitable also. And it's really it's such an insular business. We're one big family, and we want to help feed everybody through what the creative work we do.
Also, by having the
You
foundation.
get into the mic so they can hear you in the back.
Just by having a great foundation of great characters, then who knows where they're gonna end up.
And also as a fan myself, new is fun. Like, can you imagine being able to grab the number ones of all your favorite characters that are only a 30-year run? You can get the number one Red Coat,
That's right.
the number one Geiger, the number one book I'm not telling you about.
Rude, just teasing. I like it a lot. Personally, I think this is a game changer. I'm not gonna lie. As a comic creator myself and a reader, this is something that I am uber excited about. But this is gonna be something legendary that we talk about for years. What is the origin story for Ghost Machine? You kind of hinted at it, Jeff, but I want to know from everybody, like, what kind of was the thing where you go, yeah, this is it, this is time?
Jeff will never say this, and it needs to be said, but we all sit here because of him right now. And I know that so many of you are here because you love his books, and you read Flash, you read Green Lantern, you read Superman, and all the other things he's worked on. But he understands this industry in such a profound way. And I can tell you, each of us has a different origin story of how Jeff approached us on that day, right? I was in COVID and we truly didn't know what to do. And Jeff was like, hey, you want to jump on Zoom? That's the ghost part that we paid up for. And he said, you want to jump on Zoom and let's see if we can write a comic together. And I was like, yeah, that's great. But that was our little tiny part, but he had that moment with each and every one of us. And he said, there's something bigger here. And Ghost Machine exists because he understood that this industry is an ecosystem. that needs change, just like our rail ecosystem needs change. And we love him for it, I love him for it, but he will never ever say it, and it needs to be said, but this exists because of that man. So.
I love that. We have an amazing slideshow that we're going to show you guys a little bit more insight to what Ghost Machine is bringing to bear. You got it? I would ask Jeff, because that is his machine. Push a button and switch. Start sending all kinds of crazy stuff, crazy people.
Yeah, good.
We did threaten to airdrop the trailer to everyone.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, but not everybody's an Apple user.
Yeah, we'll do.
Ready? Here we go. Teasing a bit of what's to come. What do we got?
Well, so our books start, I mean, the great thing about, I think what we've been doing, we've actually been working on this for like a year, in secret, which is why JSA is so late, by the way.
Oopsie!
I mean, all the DC crew there, oh, that's why. So I apologize for that for all you JSA readers, but that book will continue. Anyway, so what we've been working on this for quite a while. Geiger Ground Zero, we solicited this, Gary and I did under Mad Ghost, but it's evolved into Ghost Machine, and so the first actual Ghost Machine comic book comes out in November, so it's just about 3 or 4 weeks away. Already at the printer, already going. And it's a prologue, 2-issue prologue series that gets into the origins of this character, Geiger, who is a man who's become this monster, and the book's all about him trying to become a man again. And then January 2024, there's a 64-page one-shot coming out from Image, introduces all our characters. We're doing 4 universes of characters. We're doing the Unnamed, which is, we've already become with Geiger and John Carrot Joe. Those trades are available out there right now. And an expansive Red Coat, which came out of a conversation of Brian Hitch and I think. Brian saying, I'm never gonna learn to not make the same mistakes. And it's like, well, what if you were immortal? And he's like, no, I make the same mistakes. So that's who Red Coat is. Really fun books. But that's also gonna introduce Rook, and the Rocket Feathers, and First Ghost, and Lamont's book called The Soulless, which I'll spoil. And Maytal's book called Devour, which is part of the horror universe. We have a huge artist that's going to be announced in a couple months that's joining us, that's going to be leading the charge on that horror line. And then we have the family unit of books that starts with Pete and Francis with Rocket Feathers, and another book that Pete's can't talk about today, but we'll talk about very soon, but that will also be previewed in this. So there's a lot more than you've seen that comes out in January, but November, December, January, we've got books. And then April, we launched the monthly Geiger book from Gary and myself. I don't know, Gary, if you want to talk about Geiger.
Pretty please, pretty please.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got Geiger Ground Zero, which is the 2-part comeback first, which is going back to the very early days after the bomb and the early origins of Geiger. And then after that, we're going to be going back into the universe to kind of expand and see what happens next after the previous series. So yeah, lots of stuff coming to do with Geiger.
Look at that beautiful artwork right there.
You guys should be able to get an ash can today that.
There's an ash can of Ghost Machine #1.
Put your ash cans up, please, if you have one. If you don't have one, raise your empty hand so we can fill it.
Yeah, there we go.
They're coming at the end.
Coming at the end?
Yeah, they're on the way out. Everyone's gonna get one.
It's an exclusive cover that Jay did, introducing his character Rook.
Right, so Red Coat is a British soldier who, during the American War of Independence, having shot George Washington in the head, accidentally becomes immortal himself. Unfortunately, he's a bit of an asshole as well. And this asshole's just going to have to save the world. It just doesn't know it yet. But we have 300, because he was introduced from the Geiger universe as well. Geiger world is still alive where Geiger is alive. There's 350 odd years of alternative magical American history to play with. And we have characters from Annie Oakley to Davy Crockett. We have a sidekick in the form of a young Albert Einstein who's desperate to learn magic to figure out how the universe works. David Crockett fighting Sasquatches, honestly, what more do you need?
I feel like this is the comic book counterpart to Hamilton right now. Like, this is
Actually, the thing is, we started Redcoat as this one figure, one character, and given the fact there is so much alternative history to explore, this book is going to rapidly become an entire world of its own and a line of its own. It's expanding. The more we talk about it, the more stuff presents itself. I mean, I came to Ghost Machine with lots of things I wanted to do, and one thing it turns out like it was literally meant for Redcoat. So this is such an organic process that's growing constantly, but we're really excited about this one.
Yeah, that's a 12-year-old Albert Einstein on the Notable panel. It's probably one of my favorite characters.
I'm playing more musical chairs right now. All right, so Jeff and I are going to be introducing this new series called Rook Exodus, which is an idea that goes back quite a long time for me, and was drawing this character and pitched it to Jeff, and he just, in one night, just came up with this whole universe of characters, and it's a sci-fi book. It's separate from the Unnamed universe, so it's going to be its own universe, and so here's our character Rook, and he's called a warden, and he has these hero characters have these helmets that all kind of resemble different animals, and the helmets allow them to control animals. So Rook, being a bird, he can control blackbirds and crows and ravens, and he can use them as his spies or as a weapon. These characters exist on this dying world that was once modified in every way. Humanity could control everything on this planet. But when the world machine started to die, people left, and Rook is, as a scavenger, he is trying to rebuild a rocket ship to get off this planet. And the big question comes to him when he meets up with another character that he's had a past with, Direwolf. She has this really cool helmet that allows her to connect with wolves. And he's got to face the question, is he going to stay and fight, or is he going to take flight and leave this world? And we have other great characters like Swine, who's got a herd of giant warthogs that follow him around.
One's named Pumbaa.
Yeah. Each of the characters has really cool like sci-fi vehicles. You can see Rook's cool monster truck there that has everything's kind of, the way I see this, it's kind of like an 80s action adventure cartoon series in a way, you know? It's it's Star Wars meets Mad Max meets Batman meets Clint Eastwood, high adventure, high action, but a really good emotional story, and meets Lion King.
For cosplayers.
This is like, for me, it's like, this is the kind of project I've been waiting my whole life to do. And it's been, like I said, it's been a character that's been in my head since I was 14. And so to fight, I feel like there's a visceral, it's like there's something, this has to come out. I have to do this. And I'm really proud of it. And I'm really excited for people to see it. Love that.
Rockefellers. Rockefellers is one part of the family Odysseys of books, and it's with Francis Maniple and I as storytellers on it, and it's a family from the future, now in the present, in a witness protection program from the future, and all the insane adventures and craziness that you can imagine, that these group of characters are going to go through, and we've got some really well-defined family unit that's really going to be pretty special, and Francis is just killing it on the art. What you got there?
Well, I mean, it's a story about a father who is a brilliant inventor living in the present who's not allowed to invent anything, and you have a mother who is an explorer of the cosmos who maps the stars, can't go beyond 30 miles of their home because they're under this witness protection program. And you have a son who's going through puberty and is going to high school. And he's not allowed to be involved with anybody, you know. And you have this young daughter who is adapting quicker than anybody else because when you're at a young age, things come to you a lot easier. And then you have this grandpa who's been to multiple world wars and half his body is a machine, and he's eager to show how strong he is, but he can't. So he's always wearing these short shorts so that you can see how tight his quads are. And then you have this grandma who's headless, but she's got like this projection, and like, how did she lose her head? I'm not gonna tell you yet. And then you have a little dog called Rex who wears the same sweaters and workout outfits as the grandpa. I mean, what more would you want, right? And these guys are your neighbors, you know? Like, how cool is that?
And if you said any more, I'd have to kill him.
Yeah. Possible for sure.
I love it. I love it. Before we get out of here, because I know we're running tight on time, partnering with Image is absolutely brilliant. I think as a hallmark for creator-owned content, you couldn't have a better teammate. How did that collab happen, and what's the biggest benefit for being under the Image umbrella?
Well, Image, I mean, Eric, it's really Eric Stevenson, who I've known for years and years, and he's always been like, hey, you gotta do something with Image, you gotta do something with Image. And I know a lot of people at Image that have been there for a while. Kyle Higgins is doing great work over there with his books, and a lot of others. And then Gary and I did Geiger, and it was such a great relationship. Creatively, it's easy because there's no other company that represents creator-owned so holistically and absolutely the Image out there. And they're the #3 publisher. They do an amazing job. They have great creators there, great team there. And they started with, you know, a bunch of A-list artists at the big two that wanted to go and create their own characters and control their own destinies. And that's what, you know, we're inspired by, is doing the same thing. So our partnership with Image is one that we really value, and it's thanks to Eric and his team. And we're excited to put out like these big, crazy, cool, character-driven books and introduce these new characters to everybody, and make people psyched to go to the comic shop every Wednesday or Tuesday. You know, I still go Wednesdays, but every Tuesday or Wednesday. That's where that partnership comes from, and it's. I mean, we couldn't have a better partner than Image Comics.
I love it. Absolutely love it. We do have time, I think, for 1 or 2 questions. Do you dare? Are you so bold to ask a question right now? Yes.
What do you think that this line of books is bringing to Image that other Image books don't have? I know that's kind
You mean other than this lineup right here? Like, I mean, that's a great question.
Character focused. That's something that we saw a lot. You see a lot in classic comic books. Batman, Spider-Man, even the original Image line, Spawn, you know, Savage Dragon. I feel like comics has gotten away from that a little bit. We want to go back to that. These are character-driven books. When you pick up Geiger, you know what it's about. When you pick up Redcoat, you know what it's about. And I feel that that's what the comic book reader wants. We deep down, we want strong character books. We want cool characters. We want to read these books and become those characters as we read them. And that's what we're going to deliver. And I think that when people read these characters, they're going to really get into them. We really, because these are all characters that we've created out of passion and love, and we just want to really showcase them to the world. We're proud of this stuff.
Yeah. I think what makes it really different too is that in the creator-owned arena, we're either selling ourselves to you, like, you know, me, Francis, selling myself to you, or I'm selling you a concept, right? But what makes us really different is that, as Jason said, the reason why we're character first is that this isn't creator-owned, this is a creator-owned company. So we're not afraid to promote our characters because it ultimately benefits us. And we'd like to think that most of you are familiar with all our work already. So therefore we can put the characters in the forefront. And that's why, like, if you notice when you ask about the books, a lot of things that we're talking about are the characters. Right? It's rarely about the plot. And these characters, the idea is that we want them to last longer than us. You know, we're here to promote ourselves, obviously, but that's a byproduct of making really strong characters that you're going to grow to love. That's why it's creators characters you're going to love.
That was a great question. Great question. Great question. You got some more? Yes.
Yeah, good question. In the unnamed universe, I just want to say I love these characters because they're so real and emotional. And I like that aspect of them. Within the unnamed universe, I know they're from different timelines. Is there going to be a point where somehow, I don't know, time travel or something, they all come together to form a team?
The question is, in the unnamed universe, is there gonna be a point where everyone kind of forms a team? I feel like that's kind of spoilery. Do y'all wanna answer that?
Yeah, well, so, I mean, the idea came from kind of like creating these American myths, like, Paul Bunyan, John Henry. Like, I wanted to create all these different characters throughout time, so we came with all these ideas. They're all in different time periods because I think it makes it interesting for us to explore, because all the books feel different. We want Geiger to feel unique to Redcoat, to Junkyard Joe, to First Ghost, to all the other books in the unnamed universe. Will they ultimately meet? Of course they will. It'll be awesome. But not yet.
But also the advantage of having Redcoat be 350 years old by the time he meets Geiger, it means he's probably met all of them already. He just hasn't seen the stories yet.
Could you imagine the kids finding the helmets from Rook? What are they gonna do?
What won't they do? That's the question.
It starts off as a Halloween costume.
I would wear that. I would absolutely wear that. Yes.
Outside of the books, what's been the most fun working together with you guys?
Being together.
We actually we all flew in here Monday, and we've had our first kind of company summit all day Tuesday and Wednesday, and
Some of us, I mean, we can speak to it, like Lamont and Natal are really from television. We work with, they didn't really know a lot of people here beforehand, and vice versa. And even before we started talking about this, Gary and Brian kind of knew each other, but now he made some reference about a radio show here, and Gary laughed or Brian laughed. I'm like, what are they talking? They always do that when they talk about some English thing. But I think this, the best part about this has been, for us, we were just talking outside, we can't wait for dinner tonight because the last 2 days have been a convention now, and we're all apart doing our signings, doing these, and we really, truly love being together that Tuesday, Wednesday, and it was like, this is why. Because as creators, we sit in a room all day, draw or write, you're on the phone sometimes, you Zoom if you're lucky, but those 2 days, I think was emotional for all of us. It was so fun to be in a room. Francis put these great videos together. They're up on our YouTube channel. And we've got our whole team here too. There's a huge team beyond us that is here, all part. We're all co-owners of the company. We all own everything together, all of us. And so we're all rooting for each other, which is so inspiring. And there's nothing like it in comic books. There's never been anything like this where we all co-own everything together and we operated together. Like we were in our summit and nobody's telling us to do anything. Because there's no one upstairs. And when you work at a company, there's the boss, and there's the boss's boss, and there's the boss, then there's Wall Street. There's all these things that you keep just going up every level. And with this, it just ends with us. Like this is it. So we can create and do what we want. But this summit, the best part has been being together and inspiring each other and sending things back and forth and talking, get to know each other about not just comics but life.
So you just heard this man speak, so this is why we're all following that guy. We're all here because of him. Like the way he speaks, his sincerity, his heart, his passion for this industry, and he's just a good guy. So again, I am mostly from television. Hey, how you guys? My first comic I wrote earlier this year, sent it to him. And Jeff was like, oh, this is good. I like this. Not knowing what he was plotting. But I am happy to be here. These guys, these ladies, this family is amazing. And I'm just as excited as you guys are. So.
I also want to add, as someone who's kind of met everybody for the first time, it really feels like a team. Like I've never felt so much support from people in this way, and as a new voice in comics, like I feel so supported by every single person here, and they're all incredible, and we're all passionate about telling stories, and everyone just wants to help each other out, and I feel so much love from everybody here.
having gotten to watch you guys in action and figure things out, there seems to be a lot of room for you each to teach each other different things. What is something that you guys have learned about the craft of comic making or storytelling that, despite your incredible experience before, just kind of shocked you, like, oh, I now see that?
I think a lot of them are learning the color process.
But also like a huge shout out to Brad, because his coloring is amazing, and that's not to be, you know, like truly incredible. He is such a huge part of this team, and his art is so incredible.
Yeah, I just echo that with both Brad and Rob. There's a reason that we're so lucky to have Brad and Rob as part of this team, because they're the best at what they do, like much like Wolverine. But like Brad is a painter. Like every time, like it's, you know, we need Brad because he brings this beautiful, you know, just beautiful work to all the work. He makes this stuff look amazing. We were talking about the Geiger glow. He's like, it's a trade secret. I'm not telling anybody. Which is really funny. And Rob Lee has been lettering. We've been working with Rob forever. He's the best letterer in the business. And
that's right. Make that
and there, you know, it feels like even colors and letters have to fight to be a part of something and be treated with kind of creative respect and financial respect. And that's the thing that we're looking to solve with this group. Yeah.
You know, I've been around for quite a while. Not quite as old as Red Coat. The one thing you learn if you want to be good at what you do is that you never stop learning. And being surrounded by these guys means you never stop trying either, because it's not that it's competitive, it's inspirational. Whether it's, you know, the writing end of the team, or the art end of the team, or Brad's end of the team, or Rob's end of the team, they've always got something to show you, to teach you, and you can't learn with a team like this. That was, you know, it's inspiring on a daily basis. So I love that.
I'll just add real quick. I just want to go back to, I think one of the most fun parts of this is we're all, like, they're from different countries. A couple Canadians up here, you got Brits and everything. So for all of us to be, I think this is the first convention we've been, Jeff, Gary, and Jay and I together, ever. So to spend this time with them, it's so much fun, it's so valuable, and I just appreciate it.
I love that. One of the reasons why I say this is the future of comics is not only are you aiming for character-centric pieces, but you actually are tackling genre first to invite other readers in. Is that something that you recognize has been a failing of the comic industry, of having inaccessible points, either from publisher standpoints or retailer standpoints, that this truly would be the answer for?
I mean, I think the history of comics points to that. I mean, when you look back, I mean, how great was it? I mean, I know when I was a kid to have just a wide breadth of genres on the stand. And I'm a big war comic and a Western fan when I was a kid. To have war, Western, romance, superheroes, adventure stories, historical classics, you can appeal to everybody. And the best thing about that is you can bring just so many different voices in to also create stuff.
You're centering the autofocus.
So it's a blast. I mean, it's really, really key. I think we're really going to have a lot of fun with all these different genres and be able to attract new readers, because, you know, I can't remember who said it, but we all love superheroes. We love it. And I felt privileged, and it was an honor to work on all the characters that I worked on. But now it's really important to spread our wings, so to speak, and just, you know, bring our creativity to different genres across the board, and hopefully appeal to a lot of different readers.
The other thing I'll add to that is the most beautiful part of Jeff's pitch, when he pitched it to all of us, is it was never just us, but it was you. And there are people in this room right now that I know want to one day be on the stage and be talking into the microphone. And I know there are people in this room who one day will. I don't know who you are, but you will. And I love that Jeff was like, and then we can do it for other people. So they're not treated the way that some of these corporate entities treat so many people since Superman was sold for $130. And I love that part of the pitch. That's a legacy idea. That's a long-term idea. I know that means we're done, but anyway, huge love to that, and that's as important a part of what the pitch is really about.
Add to that, it was something we talked a lot about early on. I said, you know, we want to inspire others to like not want to work for Ghost Machine, but want to become part of Ghost Machine. Because when you co-own everything with us, you work on books, you're in control of your destiny. And we really do want to inspire others to do that and help others do that. That's what our ultimate goal is to keep growing and help other creators find a way.
I love it. We've got a timeline of things that are to come. How can we follow along with Ghost Machine's progress right now? Where can we find you online, and what spaces should we follow each of you guys so we can get even more content from you creative powerhouses? Where can we find you?
I mean, Ghost Machine Pro, go anywhere, ghostmachinepro.com, Instagram, Facebook. If you go to Ghost Machine Pro and Instagram, just look at who they follow. You can probably find all of us.
There's a really great newsletter that we're going to be putting out, so you can sign up for that on the website. And we even have a really sweet store that launched as well that Corey built. And we got some awesome stuff up there, t-shirts like this one, hey, and hats. I'm really supporting the hats. And you know, we just really want to build this and grow this and get you guys involved as fans and as lovers of comics and stories. And we're really excited about what we're moving forward.
I love it. I love it. Thank you guys. Let's give them a round of applause. To all of you, you guys are first on the ground. You are the front. No one knows what this is like you do right now. So we need you to talk as much as possible about what Ghost Machine is and what it will be to make it even greater than they even thought it could be. It is up to you guys, because they've already started the ball rolling. Let's get to pushing. So as soon as you leave this hellhole of a communication space, we're gonna pump out as much content. We're gonna make sure that Ghost Machine is trending by the end of the day, all day, for the rest of the weekend. Can we do that? Yep.